Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Today is October the 10th, 2023, and it's 12 o'clock noon, and today is a scrappy day. I'm going to be working on the scrap explosion quilt that Fallon has wrote up on her channel. So if you're interested in clearing out a lot of your scraps, run to your scrap bin and grab that pattern and join me over here. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let me slip into the chat really quick and make sure that I wish everybody a warm welcome over here. My mouse is not working. So let me see here. Donnell, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, Donnell. Joe the Tech Guy is doing his magic. Cat's Gallery can't wait. Sweet. Good morning. You are helping me with my surgery recovery. Wait a minute. I look forward to your videos. You and Joe do a great job. Thank you, Mel, and I hope you a speedy recovery. Paula Hill, she's also one of our channel subscribers and members, and I hope, thank you, is all I have. Thank you. Good afternoon, all patiently waiting. Have my big G, and I'm working. Awesome. That is going to be fabulous. Can't wait to see it. Make sure that you post it over on my channel, Handmade by Ying. Let's share. I greatly appreciate it. Can't wait to see what it looks like. Sheila, hello. I'm here. My coffee isn't working at 9 a.m. and I need a nap. Going to be a long day. I've got two things from Sheila, and I'll be doing those here momentarily. And Sheila, thank you. Donnell Stitchery has a channel. If you haven't subscribed to her, go over and check her out. If you like the content that she's sharing, hit that subscribe button. Jackie, she also, I believe, has a channel, so please check her out. Unfortunately, I'm working on my real job right now, but listening and occasionally will chime in. That's fine. Everybody has to work. Paul Hill, Mel, wishing you a speedy recovery. Sheila, hoping you have a fast recovery. Susie, hello. Greetings to one and all from 79 Las Vegas. Woo! We're 46 here, so trust me, it's a little bit nippy. You'll see me starting to layer up. This girl doesn't do winter well. I'm a summer girl. Teresa Louise is in the house, and good morning, beautiful. Donnell is telling her hi. Love the quilts behind you. I restaged a little bit today, and you'll see a few more changes coming our way on the back end here with the sewing space. But I want to showcase special quilts. So Joe helped me. Well, I come up with the idea, and Joe did it. And I'll explain that in a moment. Diane, good afternoon from Massachusetts. Laura, hello. Good afternoon from Gilbert, Arizona. It's beautiful out there. Diane, love the blue quilt behind you. Thank you. C-Card, good morning. Love hanging out with you. I love hanging out with you guys. It makes my sewing experience just a little bit more fun. I'm cutting out blue, fat quarters, and white fat quarters into 2.5 squares, enders and leaders. Absolutely, Susie. And that's the fun way of sewing something like this scrap buster. You can do it as enders and leaders and streamline the process and just have a good time doing it. Set them aside, and then before you know it, you've got a quilt. The Confident Quilter, Gladys Paul, is in the house. Hello, Miss Gladys. Hope you are doing well. And thank you, Donna and Joe. You're welcome. So today, as I said, I'm going to be working on my scrappy explosion from over at Fallon's. But I have some happy mail here today. And Joe just got back from the post office. So I will open that before we do anything else. We couldn't get into the post office over the weekends. So we're doing happy mail today. Glenda, hello. Welcome. I love it when you guys come and join me. 79 in Phoenix. High today of 98. Yeah, our high today is going to be in the 50s. Yeah, I could say winter is officially heading our way here. Why don't you, while I'm doing this, hello. Sarah's quilting journey. Hello, sweetheart. Drop your temperatures. That way, I would love to set up doing a temperature quilt with everybody and then see what we all come up with for the end of the year. I think that would be fun. Let me shut my mouse off because it's not connected over here and I don't want to mess Joe up. The negative space in the blue and white quilt is beautiful. Really shows off the quilting. Thank you. So before I open this, I want to talk about this madness behind me. I've been trying to figure out what I could do to stage a better area that it would look a lot nicer for you guys, but yet still be efficient for me. This is the quilt and I dearly love it. It's the pineapple quilt from over at Tiffany's Quilting Life. She was selling it last year right at breast cancer awareness, and I love this quilt. So when she auctioned it off over on her channel, Joe and I was like, we got to have it. It's got all of the breast cancer colors in that really resonate. I love the way that she can sit down and make a pineapple quilt. It's just stunning. The quilting she did, hearts get me every time, and there's a lot of like heart movement in it. So I had Joe put clips across the top of my bookshelf so that I'd be able to hang specialty quilts right behind me and always be able to showcase certain ones along the way that really, it's whether it's made by a friend or I'm showcasing a flimsy that we've just finished up. So this area now will be to where I can just hang a pretty quilt and showcase it. My design wall, on the other hand, this is the Rose Garden quilt. It's a pattern by Fat Quarter Shop. I started it in July with our Sew It Seams group, and Teresa Louise brought the idea to us and showed us the pattern, and we all just, you got to run out and grab that, you know? So we got the pattern and we all started working on it within I was teasing Teresa Louise. I said, teacher, can we move forward one block? We all kicked it off together, but I love to rib her. She's my bonus sister from all the way in the Midwest. So, I love the way that it came together. We did the little tiny, 9-patch blocks across the top, and then they came across here. I love the way that this came together, but I wanted to do something different with the negative space, so I did the swirls in sequence, and I'm telling you right now, every quilt I do, I put a little love into it. So periodically, if I found myself hooked in a spot I couldn't get myself out, I would put a little heart there. And I've always put hearts in my quilts, whether it's down in a corner or in the bind. Somewhere in there, there's a heart. And that's my trademark. So this quilt, I cannot remember the fabric line because it was 2 of them that was merged together. It was just leftover fabric. But I'm telling you what, it came together really good, really fun. So if you order those Fat Quarter Shop box of the months, that's where this pattern stemmed from. And it was a blessing and a fun sew with my friends. So if you haven't already done it and you've got that pattern sitting around in the, I believe it was the July box. It may have been the June box, but we kicked it off in July. And I finished it up in August, the piecing of it, and just, I was pulling a quilt because I had changed my long arm. I got rid of my red snappers, and Sassy Steph over at Memoirs of a Long Arm Quilter, she has zippers on her long arm. And I have trouble, due to the arthritis in my hands, hooking without Joe. So this way I can streamline quilts a lot quicker. So I put the zippers on my long arm, and this is the first quilt that I was able to load and unload by myself. And I had it on the long arm, probably 2. I just hooked it to make sure that I got a fuzzy on my face or something. That I was able to hook by myself, and I did just the basting in, and then I left it sit because it's got Minky on the back, and I was petrified I would really jack this up. Well, I didn't. I was afraid of working with Minky. I took all the tips that Teresa Louise had, Becca had, Tucker had, Sassy Steph, and Courtney. And I put them all together, and I did everything that they told me. You don't overwind it. If you get it really tight, when you take it off that long arm, it's going to suck in. I made sure that my tension on my take-up bar was not like sagging loose, but not really tight. And as I basted in, I made sure I basted across, and I've pulled out those basting stitches as well. This is an amazing quilt. I'm thankful Teresa Louise brought it to us to do. At first I was like, I'll just do it because I fell in love with this quilt, and now this is going to become one that's going to stay in our home forever. There's certain ones, you know, you just can't sell off, that they mean something. This one means something. So let me slip back to the chat real quick. The negative space. Thank you. In South Dakota, wait a minute. I'm in South Dakota until next week working on my swirling geese. Ooh, that's going to be fun. C card, 74 in Central Texas. Constance, 54. Wow. Currently 51 in Rosedale, Michigan. Thanks to hot flashes, been working around in shorts and tank tops. God love you. I'm layered up, literally layered up. And we have heat in our house, but I still get cold. 57 degrees in Nevada, pretty warm for us. I bet. 37 Fahrenheit here today. Sarah's quilting. Oh my goodness. We're going to get to 88. God love you. I would be basking in my glory to be in anything above 70. Sheila Fudge, Finley, I'm so ready for the cooler temps to get here. God love you. If I could live in a climate that was like 70 to 90 all the time, I'd be happy. I love the snow to watch it when it's coming down, but I don't drive in it, and I stay homebound pretty much all winter. Joe does all of the running. I love all your quilts. Thank you, Mama Harding. Thank you. I've had a lot of positive feedback when, why can't you hang them? Why can't you display them? Because holding them up, I can't get my arms up high enough to let you see all the glory of them. So what I've talked to Joe about this morning, and he was able to pull it off before the live, was we're going to make that a hanging area behind me. And I think it's just going to work for what my needs are. So let me get back there. Minky quilts beautifully. It's scary the first time you try it though. I was like, I did one row and then I stopped and then I literally clumb under the long arm to see if I had it too tight. I love the way that you can still see all of the quilting on the back. At first I wasn't sure, and I think that was my big hang up. That and the fact if I pulled it off the long arm, it was going to shrink up or something, but it didn't. The only thing I didn't like about the Minky was all of the loose fibers when you're squaring it up and things. But that's what vacuums are for. Hey guys, can't stay long, but I have a quick question about cutting for this quilt. Go ahead and ask away, Amy. Amy has also got her channel, and she's a sweetheart. Donna, Handmade by Ying. Did you use your AccuQuilt to cut the HSTs or QSTs for this? I did. I have one of them I just cut with my ruler, and then one I've cut with the AccuQuilt. So I'm showing it both ways over the weekend. I thought Tucker was going to come up and be able to showcase one quilt and I would do one, but that's not going to happen. Life has happened and he won't be able to come up. So I'll probably only be able to get one of the quilts done, and I'll have to pick which one, unless I can streamline this week and try to get one pinned up and get it sewed in. But we'll see. Life happens. And I will have the first one I did. It's a two-sided. That will be shipped out this afternoon from Tucker, and I'll have it here tentatively tomorrow late afternoon or Thursday. So it will be here in time for the live. Lena, good morning. Sarah's quoting in Canada. It's going to be cold here. Still waiting to see if our furnace will get fixed today or not. Oh my. I hope it does. C-card, this is a wonderful relief after the heat wave we've been in. I was roasting like a turkey in the oven. I bet. Absolutely. So, let me get back to this box of goodness that has came. Thanks for the help. Except now I want to do it in lots of sizes. I'm definitely going to do it as a wall hanging with all of the scraps that I have, Amy. I just need to figure out, maybe that's something you and I will do a collab on. So if you can email me, we'll pick a date and we'll do a collab. I want to do mine like a 20 by 20 wall hanging that'll hang in my bedroom. What girl doesn't need a Mickey in her room, right? So we'll just shrink that pattern down and you and I'll come up with some good ideas. So out of this box of goodness, Sheila, thank you. She has sent along bias tape. And this will be used for Project Dress-A-Girl dresses. I love my scraps, and I appreciate all of the salvages. These will go into salvage blocks, and I'll set up a standalone video and maybe bring on some subscribers who like to do salvages too. If you do, send me an email that says salvage, and I'll bring you on and we can sew together a little bit, and we'll do some salvage blocks. I love to do those and just use up everything that I can. And then I've got some dresses here. So let's go ahead and show these dresses. They won't make it into the count this year because they're delayed. And that's okay. They're going to be the first ones out of the lot for next year. I'll give you a call or text this afternoon. Sounds fabulous, Amy. I love doing work with you. Let's have a good time. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4 dresses. So let's have a look, see what she come up with. I'm just going to hold them up. Are these not darling? Oh my goodness. I love the way that you did the trim around the top, the cute pocket, and the embellishment across the bottom. You did a fabulous job on these. And I can honestly say, with kicking off for next year, because we're starting already with the shipments of everything and extra dresses and ones that couldn't make the cut this year for the shipping, we'll be getting a little leg up for next year. And that's great. I don't mind that a bit. So next year's challenge is we double what our channel has put out for this year. So we did 138 this year. So we're going to try our best to sew all year long, just like we did this year. And I'll have Marty up here again, and we'll do some form of a fun little video for you. Is that not? I love this fabric. That looks so darling. As you can see, the embellishments, the pockets, she double stitched at the bottom. These are so well made, and they're going to touch the lives of these little girls. I will reach out to her and find out if we can add to our count. If they haven't already shipped, I might be able to overnight to her so that they'll go in, but I'm not going to make any promises. But if not, that's okay, because we'll be a few dresses up for next year's counts. And they are greatly appreciated. So let me put these aside in the box. And thank you so much for the bias tape. It streamlines, as you know, by making the dresses. It really gets it out there and makes it so easy to do. And I'm going to be doing 2 different patterns this year. I really like the McCall 5797, but Thoughtful Creativity, the dress that she came up with for 2023, I'm going to be cutting out any leftover fabric that's been sent in, that I'll be doing that pattern moving forward, and I'll have those dresses pre-cut. I'm going to take them to our quilt retreat in June, and the girls have graciously said, okay, one will do pockets, one will do the bias, one will do the serging. So we're going to see how many dresses. Last year we did 15 in 2 hours. So I'll see how many we can sit up and get done. I'll take quite a few with me, and we'll accept whatever work the women want to do. It's all about giving back. I'm in Minnesota, Canada. It's cold here. Still wait. Okay, I've got that. C card relief. Oh no, Sarah. Oops, welcome. Thanks, that helps, except now I want to do, yes, Amy, let's do that. I'm going to love it. I've quilted many Minky backs, LA, 2.5 years. It's so, yeah. Susie, I didn't realize you were there. It's so, yeah. That's so cool. Mink backs, quilts when I was in LA for 2.5. That is so cool. Amy Demana, yeah, she's going to call me. Joe the Tech Man. What are the time spans for the live Zooms set for Friday and Saturday for the Magic Quilt? We are going to go live at noon. I need everybody that's going to be coming on the live to meet me on Zoom at 11:30 so we can do mic checks and sound checks and lighting and all of the magic that Mr. Joe does. So 11:30, the Zoom link will probably say noon, but noon is when we're going to streamline and go live. we're going to do the full 6 hours. I'll give you tips and tricks along the way before we go live. Like if you need to go off camera, you'll have to go out and come back because you don't want to just get up and walk off from your chair. There'll be little things and that'll move you around in your space. I can't tell you if any other content creators will be coming on with us, but I do know that Tucker will drop in a little bit on Friday and chat and mod for me a little bit. And we're just going to have a good time. Karen has a pattern called Red Singer that uses salvages for quilt blocks. Susie, if you could email me that, I would dearly love it. That would be a lot of fun. Where do I find the pattern for the dresses? You're going to go to Thoughtful Creativity's website, YouTube channel. Look for her dress for 2023. You'll see standalone videos. Just click on the link and save it into your computer system. I believe it was 4 pages. You're just going to print it on a standard computer. You're going to cut it out, tape it together, and bam, you've got a free pattern. And it's one that is sure to please any palettes. I lost my job at Soya when the pandemic. Oh, too bad they couldn't bring you back, Susie. That would have been awesome. Working for the brothers, I'm sure, was an experience and a lot of fun. There's always work to be done, and I'm sure they had to make some cuts along the way. So let me get chatting about this pattern. But I got one more thing. I've been squirreled. Have you ever heard tell of it? Sheila sent me this pattern last night after my live and all of the laughter and all of the giggles. She sent me this because a few in my Sew It Seems group, we play squirrel. If we're really stressed or life happens and things, we just, honestly, we squirrel. We get on to the next project. We do the next thing. And no matter what, you're staying hyper focused. And one of them will see that you're sweating, you're having a hard day or whatever. We squirrel. We send each other cool patterns. So Sheila was amazing last night. When I got off the live, I always check the email before I go down. She squirreled me. And thank you, Sheila. I did get it all printed out. And I think this is going to be fun. I did send it along to my other squirrels in my group. And challenged them to come up with their own variation. I just did some plain coloring today, just playing with it. And I'm going to do probably some form of a blue background versus the green. But I thought, boy, this is going to be so cute. So when I get a spare moment, I'll go ahead and get them cut out, marked up for my colors, and we'll get this a go. It'll be a lot of fun. So let me get that squirrel moment set aside so that we can get busy. I couldn't help myself. Sheila, you made my night. On top of all the giggles and all of the laughter, we had a fabulous live last night. And I've never laughed so hard during a live. And I can honestly say it was contagious. I think we all had a good time. Just getting on. Love the blue quilts. Thank you. I'm trying to see. I've got to get used to my left and right. This one here is a rose garden from Fat Quarter Shop, Sheila. Let me see. Candace, sorry, the chat jumps. And I loved it. And thank you so much. Memoirs, hello, hello. And I'm thankful to have a mod in with me today. Teresa Louise is in the house. And that gives me my 2 mods. So I greatly appreciate it. Let me scooch in my chair just a little bit. Yeah, he's going to wheel me up. So let me get my machine on and I'll tell you a little bit about this pattern. I'll get Joe to come down to the table. This is what the blocks look like when it's together in its entirety. And you've got a lot of little pieces in this block. So if you count them out, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Then you've got your center block. So you're going to have 32 blocks, and then you're going to have your center, which would account for 38 total. So this is going to be fun. So Fallon, when we got together, she explained that she just laid her block out in its entirety, and what she did was went from left to right and sewed rows all the way across, and then she would stop here and build the 4-patch, and then move along and join them. And as she did, she would fold and build. It doesn't work in my head that way. So what I've opted to do was change it just a little bit. I'm still doing her pattern, but I'm changing the way that I'm sewing it because I like to streamline. I like the process of sewing, but I have to stay on task when I do. So this is the first block that we've done. And I did this on the live, but my machine went down on me. And I wasn't able to sew the last 3 pieces together. But this is the explosion. And I'm going to end up making 9 total. I have 8 more to go. So if you missed the live last night, I did show this. So after you get the last 8, I'll just keep stacking them, and periodically along the way, I'll show you where we're at. Day before yesterday, I took the liberty of going ahead and making my centers. So I'll get Joe to come back down on the table so I can show you that. So all of your centers are going to be just like this, the way that she has it laid out. You're going to have the little diamonds here, and then you're going to have your outside perimeter. So I needed to make 8. Let me see. There was 8 more. I want to make sure 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we've got these. So we've got those made, and they're going to be set aside. So next up is I took and broke down the pattern into just the corners. So I've got my stacks here. I'm going to make 32 corner blocks. When I get those done and pieced together, we're going to do the 16 center blocks. And then we'll come together. I should be able to do this in like 3 or 4 lives, and then we'll build the quilt out in its entirety. Gotta run, have a good time, and I'll catch the replay. Thank you, sweetheart. Memoirs is working the chat for me, and I humbly appreciate it. So basically, I'll do the 16 side blocks and then do the 32 blocks. When I get those done, we'll come together and join all of the blocks together. So that'll be a long sew when I do the joining it all together, just so you'll be able to see it in all of its glory as it's working. So for all intents and purposes, I've got them into their stacks of 32. If you've got any questions along the way, please feel free to ask. So everybody likes chain piecing. I know I do. I get a lot more work done when I can chain piece. So let me get my iron set up. Get my cell phone out of the way. Move my iron cord, because what I'm going to do is just flip these over and sew these, and then I'll flip them back after I get them sewed this way. Then we'll come back, I'll press them, and then we'll sew them this way, if that makes sense. So let's get sewing. And if you need my attention, Joe's got the chat handled on this side, and he'll tell me if there's any questions along the way. And I want to line up. I was asked why I haven't been sewing with my Juki. When I do my FPP, I like to use the Stinger Stylist. It just has the automatic thread cutter, and it works better for me. So there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just the way I do it. And I'm just going to do all of the top ones first, and then I will do all of the bottom. So we're just going to do this 32 times. Line these up. So let me see. Why don't we do this? Everybody drop what state you're in first. We're going to do a game. So let me know what state you're in. Joe, give me the count in the chat. I think we got 43 right now. And I love it that you guys come hang out with me when I'm doing these projects like this. It means the world to us. And these are basically, they look like flying geese. Because as you can see, it'll be like this, but it's just not going to have everything all in one segment. It's going to have darks on the outside, inside's all different. So we've got Nevada, Massachusetts. You're going to have to read them to me, Joe. Oh, okay. I thought you were mic'd up. I'm sorry. Oh, okay, honey. Massachusetts, Alabama, Canada, Arizona, Arkansas, State of Confusion, Nevada, North Las Vegas. That is so cool. So anyway, like I was saying last night in the chat, anybody that wants to go ahead and jump on the bandwagon, start making projects, the dresses for Project Dress a Girl next year and help us blow this out of the water, please jump on board. I would just love to see our numbers double, and I love a challenge. Anybody that knows me, I'll stay up weeks to make sure that we hit that mark. And I'll put out as much as I can. And so we can work together and sell. I'll do a few offline Zooms for anybody that wants to hop in and join with us. It would be fun. Let me see. Shelly's in the house. Hello, hello, Shelly. Kentucky, Michigan. Joe's going to have to tell me the furthest one away. Canada is the furthest one away right now. Do what? He's thinking. North Carolina. We're Maryland. West Virginia's Miss Shelley. And it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So everybody knows we're always telling you along the way, please get checked. If you have a sister, a brother, a mother, anybody, please take the time and get checked. Call them and say, hey, when was your last mammogram? Having a mammogram saved my life and that of my mom as she battled her battle. So it means everything to us to kind of just put that little nudge. And it's not always just October, but it gives you that milestone of when your last one was. Put it in your cell phone. Set your alarms. Do whatever it takes. Mamas, tell your daughters. Especially if you've got a family history. West Virginia, let me see. We did temperature, we did state. Okay, let's do this. One more. Well, I'll probably do it all day. I've got tons and tons. In the chat, tell me how many years you've been quilting. Just drop the number. That ought to be fun. Hello, Brenda. She's from Oregon. So if you haven't, Fallon has these trim lock rulers over on her channel. And I'm telling you what, it's not just for your HSDs. These have served more useful for me in my cutting. I leave them out all the time instead of putting them in the drawer. I'm learning along the way. Easy access can help a lot. Okay, let me see. Diane's 35, Quilting Queen 13 plus. Donna 2, Melina 2, Jackie 38, Susie 1970, Glenda Hyde 42. 53 plus. Susie, way to go. 40 plus years on and off. That's fabulous. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, next question up. What got you into sewing or quilting? Was it like a family member? You just got it in school and you fell in love with the art of it? How did you get started? I think that would be fun to know. Lorelaine, hello, hello. She's 10. She's 10. 30 years ago, constantly 5. How cool is that? Sheila, 4-H. That is awesome. I wanted a new hobby. True. What? Those darn masks got me, I'm telling you. My daughter begged for a quilt. Aw. And I'm sure it looked stunning. I never realized in the very early days, like I'm seasoned by 3. Well, 23, yeah. I'd say seasoned by about 2 years. Um, that there was so much to learn with quilting. Lord have mercy, girls. I'm telling you. Like I said, my first quilt, I didn't even square a block. I didn't know you were supposed to. Donnell, my grandma passed away in 2018 and making a memory quilt for my mom in honor of my grandma, 2018. Awesome. That was, I'm sure she loved it. Both grandmothers and I sat under one of their treadle machines and worked it with our feet and we sang hymns. Now that is awesome. My mom had a treadle machine that was her mom's, and I so wish now I would have been one of the ones that would have said, "Oh, that's mine." But no, I didn't. Um, add a new hobby as I've been crocheting 50 years. How cool is that? My neighbor taught me to sew at the age of 8. That is wonderful. I think it's because for a long time before COVID, it was becoming like the lost art. And here locally we have the Mennonite. Is it Mennonite, Joe, or Amish? Amish. About I want to say 45 minutes to an hour from us. So once in a while we'll go up to Springs, Pennsylvania, and you can really see some beautiful, beautiful quilts. And the way that it was back in the day, how they would stretch them out, and all the ladies would come sit around and hand quilt. It kind of strikes a fire in you a little bit. Becca over at her channel started hand quilting little projects. She had taken a class when she was away at one of her events, and she come back and I was like, "That's pretty cool." Well, then Jem Carmel, she was letting me know that when we go to T's quilt retreat, everybody comes outside by the fire pits and they all sit around and sew. Well, this girl doesn't hand needle for nothing. So I spoke with Becca and he gave me a few ideas about little projects. Because there's no way this girl can hold a needle for countless hours outside and try to hand quilt anything to make it worth its value. But Becca, she showed me a couple of the little techniques to it and stuff. And I was like, well, if we get me a needle as big as a pencil, I might. But all kidding aside, it's worth the I'm going to give it a go. No guarantees. So I won't put a lot of money into that task, but it'll be something that I can do when I'm on the road or whatever. My neighbor taught me to sew. My mom was a seamstress and a dress designer. What do you do with a hyperactive 3-year-old, teach her how to sew. My godmother's family started me quilting when I was 8 years old, and I'm 63. How fabulous. Therapy. I had 5 sons. Absolutely. My stepdad was a Pennsylvania Dutch Mennonite. How cool is that? I think that's fabulous. I think that would be a lot of fun. Quilting Queen. I started a pillow from Walmart while grieving the loss of my husband. I started the pillow. I added it to design myself and ended up with a twin quilt for my granddaughter. I was hooked. Absolutely. I honestly, for me, you can go back and look at our early video. I had no desire to quilt, no desire to sew, didn't have a sewing machine. And I'm mass making. I was the supply catcher. I'd run all over and pick up supplies and drop it off at seamstresses' houses or quilters' houses, and then pick up the mask and drop them off at their hospital or whatever. And one day I'm picking up from one of them, and she says, "Here's a pattern. We are so much. The need is more great than we can do. Take these home and cut them out." So I thought I was just going to be doing the cutouts. Well, piece of cake, right? She gave me a coffee box. What does he call it? The cardboard template. Joe helped me, and we made numerous ones. So I sat and cut out everything. Went to drop it off to her, and she goes, "No, you got to sew." And I was like, "Excuse me? That's not going to happen." Drop that box off, and she goes, "Go make some more." So I haven't told Joe she wanted me to sew. He takes me up to Joanne Fabrics, buys me a $700 overpriced machine because, you know, during the pandemic, that must have been the cool thing to do. So they upped the price, but he bought me a nice one, multiple stitches. It's my Singer Stylist. I dearly love it. And off I went. I had her on a call with me. Okay, now what do I do? What do I do? She walked me through the different styles of mask, and Joe's like, "Okay, let's see." Then we went from mask making to bagging them. We would hang them on our door, hang them at the firehouse, wherever. So that was how my stint was done. When they alerted us within our region that we didn't need to make them anymore, we got the supplies of the N95s. I had stacks and stacks of extra squared off, already pre-cut mask fabric. So I cut it up into itty bitty squares, not knowing what I was doing. I was scissor cutting, and started making a quilt. And the quilt turned into, I ran upstairs and got into my granddaughter's baby clothes and cut up a few chunks of that, added it to this quilt, and I gifted it to my daughter and son-in-law, and they have it on their bed today. And I didn't know that you couldn't really, I did it, but my first quilting experience was on that Singer Stylist. I didn't know the eyelashes weren't supposed to be there, so I would go a little bit bigger so I could get bigger eyelashes in the back. But my daughter loves it, my son-in-law loves it, so that's all that matters. It was made with love, and it's full of the memories of their daughters, clothing and mask making. So that's the 2020 COVID quilt. Let me see. My mom and home ec, absolutely, Lorelei. My grandma taught me to sew on her treadle machine when I was 8. And I was in high school and volunteered to make costumes for the children's play. My grandma helped me and sewed 40 habit costumes in 4 weeks. Wow. I lived in Kentucky at the time and needed to make me teaching myself. 7 kids later, I made all I could. I started out grown clothing by hand treadle machine, tops, hand trying. Wow. That blows me away. I had to promise to never volunteer to do it again. I guarantee you. That would be me. Ain't no way. I will do what it takes to volunteer and give back. Everybody that knows me knows. I'd give you the shirt off my back. But the experience that we've had through the pandemic, even with the losses, we've made amazing friends through YouTube. And it's afforded us the opportunity. Some of them we've gotten to meet it face to face. So that's been phenomenal. 1971. Awesome. Susie Gabbert's in the house. I made 100 of the masks during the pandemic. Susie is late to the party. She was studying, praying and studying. It's okay, Susie girl. Let me see. Hello. I appreciate your work in the chat too, babe. So, what has been the most challenging thing for you as quilters? Learning how to read the rulers, because like when it's 3 7/8, that kills me every time. I had to go buy a special ruler. And then one of my friends sent me an extra special ruler that has those markings. But does anybody else have that issue with the ruler? All of the others I've got down to a T. That one really jacked with me. Lost track of time. That's okay. That is okay, baby girl. Either I have miscounted here. So let's go to 32. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 15, 17. 32. Nope, I didn't need that one. So my count was off, and that's okay. I'll slip that back up into that stack. I'd rather have them right the first go around. So let me pull this out, hook it up, and shut my machine off for just a few minutes while I snip all of these. I hate it when the pattern has 1/8 measurements. Absolutely. Sewing a constant 1/4 inch and reading patterns. I first learning challenge quilting. I would say absolutely. If you could turn back the hands of time, and we all know we can't, to your beginning journey to where you are now, what would you tell a new quilter? What one tidbit would you share with a new quilter? That would be fun to know. Let me see. Bless you, Lorraine. My husband and I moved to my parents' house during the pandemic, and I've been a caregiver since. Your channel and others have helped keep me sane. Thank you for sharing your talents and time. Laura, thank you. I'm just a work in progress, and I hope that every day I can make a difference in the life of just one. And thank you. I think a lot of us just like to give back. And then a friend asked me the other day, and it's a good question. And I already know what mine is. I like to call it regrets. When we buy stuff, and I mean stuff, are we buying it because someone told us this is the best thing, better than bread and butter? Or are we buying it because we need it? Did we buy it because of the pattern says we needed it? What one sewing notion, look around your space, this is going to be fun, would you say you totally got snickered? You bought it and you regret it. So you could call it like a sewing regrets. What one would it be in your space? Patience. So happy for the positive outlet to relax and unwind. Mental health is a must for us all. Absolutely. But is her telling you I can do everything? Yes. So the first row, you got to make sure that you don't jack your rows up. You're going to want to make sure that you can press your seams to the right or left. It doesn't matter here. I was originally, when I did my test block to make sure how I was going to lay this out, I was opening my seams. But at the end of the day, I don't believe anybody's going to pop open my quilt, pick out some seams, and see if I opened them or closed them. So the top block, I'm going to go to the right. The bottom block, I'll go to the left. That way they'll marry quite well. Yes, 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 I agree. I love what you do and make it yours. Absolutely. I wanted to give my first quilt to the mistakes, but my son wanted the quilt too. I had to make another one. So my tip is don't let your mistakes stop you. It does get easier. Absolutely. That is fine. I'm telling you. I think every quilt you're going to improve. Every single time. I think every quilt has a story of its own. It could be what you learned when you made it. It could be the journey. It could be its destination. I think they all have a story of their own. You've definitely made a difference in my life. I would tell a new quilter to save and buy good thread and quality fabrics. Absolutely. Don't buy a cheap machine, as it's how it's made. Spend the extra money and get a really good machine. Absolutely. I would say go to a local guild and meet the people and hear the stories of the ones that, if you're thinking about doing it, before you take the big plunge, get into a group like ours and see what sounds good to you. And you'll get a lot of good advice. The local guilds around here, we've only got one. And the best advice they could tell me when I first came here was take it slow and don't give up. And your quilt does have a story, you know? Don't buy a cheap machine, cheap rotary cutter. Absolutely. Never, ever, ever. Fingers are priceless. I regret buying a crappy iron, LOL, but it got donated. So it blessed someone, Susie. Exactly. Sorry, spell check. It's all good. It is all good. Some rulers that I don't use. Absolutely. I think it would be cool if someone would set up a group that we could do like a ruler swap. I'm not even worried at this point of the game of the value of a ruler because you're never going to get the value once it ships. But you could do a ruler swap, you know, like say, I don't know, you've changed the brands of the rulers you like. You find someone in need. They have a ruler they don't use anymore, so you swap with them. Whether it be a set or whether it be a ruler, y'all work it out on the back end yourselves. I think that would be cool. Or if someone needs a specialty ruler, instead of going out spending $100 or $200 on a specialty ruler, asking the group, and if someone has it, maybe y'all can swap it out. I think that would be cool. Exactly. Feeling sorry. Some rulers, yeah. I'll be right back. I need to grab laundry out of the dryer. We grab mine too. I think today must be laundry day. I regret allowing myself to get stuck in my own head sometimes, which holds me back in my creations. Absolutely, I get it. I get it. My So It Seems group will tell you there's days that I just sit there and I'm either streamlining a project or if I get stuck in a rut, I'm like, I can't move forward. It's like your brain paralyzes you into what's safe. This can happen to anybody. I laid it down wrong, so that needs to have a date with Jack. Because it should look like a flying geese, not one that has broken wings. Okay, let's do the next thing would be fun. What is your favorite notion that you've ever bought? If you was to walk out of your house today, what would your favorite notion be? You can only save one item. What would it be? And your sewing machine is not your notion. So, what is your favorite notion? I think that would be cool. And who needed a date with Jack today? This old girl. And I thought I laid him down right. See, it can happen to anybody, and I didn't even see it when I sewed it. I would say Jack the Ripper, but He comes in quite handy, but he's definitely not my favorite. I tell you what, I really like a good ruler that doesn't slide around. Quilting Queen Rotary. Martelli, absolute. Do you like the ergonomic, Shelley? Bernina Seam Ripper. Fits in my hand just right. 6.5 by 12.5 ruler. Absolute. That's a good standard size, and that comes in handy. I think that would be new here. Hello, Kim, and welcome. Thank you for joining the channel. Welcome, welcome. I hope you like the content. And I have two that I get to play Jack. Yeah, so we're gonna pull out my handy best mate here, and we're gonna just have a little song and dance, I guess. And we'll get these puppies put back together, lickety split. Yes, the others make my wrist hurt. Yeah, side lock rollers, absolute. They are amazing. I love my Alpha recolor, and the fancy ones keep going back to the Alpha. I think that's true for a lot of us. You think you found the perfect one because it looks pretty or the color or whatever, and then you go back to something new, something more familiar. I find that a lot of us, and I'm one of many, I'm sure, that whatever you started out with when you began quilting is what you're really familiar with. So it becomes like second nature. And when you start changing it up just a little bit, you're in unfamiliar water. So then you're going to find a million faults with what you just got because it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right in your hands. It doesn't feel right the way that you're using it. 100 different reasons why it's just not right. Slide this up here. Get this one done. Linda Denton, hello, hello. Or Quarter Select, absolutely. Kim, we also have a channel membership as well if you'd like. After you're here for a bit, if it's something that you're interested in, feel free to go to the homepage, check it out, and see if it's something you're interested in. There's 3 different levels, and we offer it to all of our subscribers, but it's not a requirement. It's just something if you're interested. So I like to always point anybody that wants to have a look-see that direction. So, like I said, you just make sure that your flying geese is facing the right way. And you don't want them to look like they've had broken wings. Yep, I knew it was going to do that. So now I get to rethread my machine because I forgot to tuck it up into the thread cutter. So let me see here. It's going to take me just a hot minute. There. Do I? Hey, Day Day. So who is ready for a fabulous weekend playing with Mickey? I can tell you this girl is. I am over the moon, excited and ready. If you can't stay the whole time, that's okay. Come in and out. It's going to be a blast. Laura Lynn, let me see. Rotary cutter and one of my rotating mats. Definitely, definitely. Day, what is your favorite sewing notion that you just can't live without? And then what is one of your biggest buying regrets? rotating mats, different sizes. I have a 16-inch, and I'm glad I have it, but I don't know. I don't use it very often. It just sits here more, unless I'm really squaring a couple thousand blocks. Um, then let me see. Friday night, I'm going to put off a challenge out there for everybody that's watching. So I can give you the little spill the tea. When we hit our number of 10,000, we all, as YouTubers, we get goals, and we set goals for our channels, goals for ourselves.
We're back.
Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
I never know if I'm here or there or anywhere. The internet keeps coming and going, so I was going to hop off. So disregard that we've left. And I'll remove that. So let me know if you can hear me clear.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
And Joe says he thinks we're good now. You're back. Okay, sorry guys. I don't know if a plane flew over. I don't know. We are back. Yeah. Thank you, Jesus.